they all suck. I'm just joking, but a lot of them do actually suck, but a lot of them don't. So, Shindo Life Elements tier list. Let's get into it.
Can persevere, go forward on my own. There's a bright and shining pure light, cutting through the darkness of the night. Now I can't help crying for my life in this endless time that I live inside. Take a closer look at who you are.
Wagwan, people of today, it's me, ShiverAway. Before I get into this Elements tier list, I have to give you your opinion warning. If you cannot handle other people's opinions in Shindo Life, Lego, Naruto, then be sure to cry about it in the comments and tell me about how much your day is ruined because I do not share the same opinion as you. And that said, since you're watching this video, clearly you're interested in the content, so you might as well subscribe. So without further ado, let's get right into D tier. And so, to the surprise of no one, at D tier we have Stone, aka Earth. Now this element is overall just pretty bad. Now, it's one thing to take a lot of chakra, which it does, and it's another thing for it to just have really slow moving projectile moves alone. But the fact that despite all of its deficits, it doesn't even do much damage to boot, so there's really no point at all to ever use this. And I have made some combos with the Earth Dome, but those have already been nerfed. My Earth Dome combo, my Earth Wall combo, those are all gone and never to be seen again. So there's really no reason to ever use any stone ability, especially with the addition of cement, which will come in later in this tier list. So overall, this is D tier because low damage, high chakra consumption, and it takes like 10 billion hand signs to pop off a single move. Really not viable at all. And at C tier, we have the two elements that are overall pretty bad but have at least one slightly viable move. Now, water overall, even though it has been buffed multiple times, it is still pretty useless with the exception of water prison, which is still only good for very specific combos and there's overall just better stun moves in the game. So that's why I can only put it in C tier, even if you do think that that move is pretty good, because one move can't make up for all of the other ones being useless. And it is the same case for fire. Now fire is just really just below average. Now a lot of the moves are just simple auto track projectiles and they don't do all too much damage. The Phoenix Flower Jutsu is pretty spammable, has good auto track and does decent damage, so it's definitely really good, especially in CC. But overall, if you're an RPG player, and even in CC, flame is just not all that great. There's really nothing too crazy about it and you can't do much or create much combos with it. And so now we have arrived at B tier. So from the base 5 elements, the two that I've put highest is going to be wind and lightning. Now I put wind this high, not really because of any other of the abilities but wind blast. Now the wind abilities are actually pretty bad, like especially Rasengan. Like I don't even know why the requirements to unlock that are so high, but the wind blast is actually a very solid ability. One of the biggest AoE moves in the game, spammable, doesn't take too much chakra, multi-hits, like can go crazy in the stun move, and it's just overall a solid ability. Definitely very meta for some builds to create distance and to just do some good chip damage. Now lightning, out of all the base elements, is probably just your best bet. Now even the Chidori is still viable. Everything about this is pretty decent. It's not too crazy, it's just decent. Nagashi can definitely still be used in some combos. I've even seen the Senbon Rain still being used to just one-shot people, and overall lightning is not bad. My only complaint with it is that Kirin is still an absolutely dog water ability that no one is ever going to be able to use. Now at the top of B tier, I put combustion. Now you'll probably be a bit surprised to see combustion down this low in the tier list, but while it does have some really solid high damaging moves, big AoE, the chakra consumption on it is so incredible that it's near useless. It takes, I think, 2 to 3 times the amount of chakra that fire does. It's so what's supposed to be its counterpart, and that's absolutely insane. Like, it could literally take half of your chakra bar in a single move, depending on the move you use, and that is kind of crazy. So while it is very solid, I still think it can only be put at B tier. And now we have gotten to the really good elements and the ones that are definitely viable. So the new kid on the block is Gale, the wind counterpart. So it is actually very, very good because of the stun. Is a bit heavier on chakra, but not too crazy. Hand signs on it are a bit high, and that's why I think it's really keeping it from being S tier, just because you can't combo too good with it. But it does stun and it does do decent damage. So it's definitely very good. It's definitely very solid, and a lot of the moves, especially the last three, you can create some really, really cool combos with it. So it's definitely very solid and deserves to be an A tier. That said, Acid, you might actually be surprised that I put it this high up. Now, Acid is not bad. A lot of people don't like it because they don't know how to use it. Now, Acid, you really have to aim around people and not at them, because the name of Acid's game is Area Denial, and it can do some just like insane DOT if you know how to play with it, and if you know how to use your dragon moves, auto tracking moves. If you can just spam those in tandem, you're going to be doing a lot of damage to people, and you can honestly just run and spam with Acid and win basically every 1v1. Now, at the top of A tier, we have Yin. Now, Yin is very, very solid. One of the best block breakers in the game, does good AoE. You can't go wrong with it. Now, the only reason I put it in A tier is literally because it has a counterpart, which is literally just it, but better. But, you know, if it was the only one in the game, I'd probably be putting it S tier. Now, it does blind your opponent after basically every move, so that's another great thing just about it. Like, there's really no reason for that. It would already be solid on its own, but that little blind effect too makes it very good. And now we are at the big boys, the best elements in the game. Now, these elements are as good as Bloodlines, and actually in a lot of the cases a lot better, like 10 times better even. In fact, you could use these and not even use any Bloodlines and still win. So the surprising one that you probably are seeing up here is Cement. Now, Cement is another new one, and people haven't realized that all of Cement's stuns are off global cooldown. So you can have 3 stuns, maybe even 4 if you know what abilities you can put in your loadout at once with Cement. Not only that, it has the best wall move in the game. You can even create combos with it. It's a substitute to the popular Earth Dome combo, and it's also just something really good to use to just pop, and then you can charge your chakra because it basically takes no chakra, stays up for a good amount of time, blocks basically every ability. It's just very solid. If you're a skilled player, Cement is going to be something crazy with you. Now we have Yang, and Yang is honestly just overpowered. This is abused in game modes like Conquest and Arena X. It is a stunning AoE element, so it can just be hitting people, stunning them, block breaking them. It is so brain dead. Literally has a combo extender built into it in the form of the second last move. Like, this is it's just a crazy element. Like, it's really awesome. I definitely have a lot of fun using it, and I think the moves are actually just some of the most aesthetically pleasing in the entire game. So if you want to just have no skill needed fights, then you definitely want Yang. And now, coming in at number 1, the best element in the game is yours truly, my personal element, the Shiver style. Now, this is definitely the best element in the entire game. Now, its damage is definitely above average. AoE is not too crazy on it, but what is the best thing is the stun time. The stun time on this is absolutely crazy. The shock slam, the purple lightning shock slam on this can go through blocks sometimes. No hand signs, probably one of the best moves to escape in the entire game. And the last move is probably, I've seen so many people rage because of the last move in this. A no hand sign instant cast, just immediate, possibly block breaking Chidori that stuns you for 3 seconds and can do up to 50k damage. Like, that is an insane ability. It's a crazy bloodline, and if you know how to use it, even some of the earlier on abilities can be used like just in crazy ways. So it's definitely, I don't think anyone would disagree with this. It's definitely the best element in the game right now, and honestly I don't see anything beating it in the near future. So guys, that is going to be it for the elements tier list. So let me know what you think of this. What are your favorite elements? But I doubt many of you will even disagree with this, because this is like, overall, I think this is just a general consensus in the community. Like, we all use this element, or we hate people using them. So guys, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.